Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to another episode of SnowCraft. Today, we're gonna go... Wow, I was gonna do that Tim Curry meme, but I can't remember the line. So, we're going to space. We're gonna go to the moon. If my game will work. My game has been... I don't know what is going on today, but it is running like absolute garbage today. It crashed like 10 times just trying to get it to load. Replay mod is still fucked up, so I can't even turn the recording off. So it's been recording since I turned the game on, and I don't know that it's actually recording anything because it's fucked up. So it's, I don't know, if replay mod is recording, we can get some fun third-person shots of what we're about to do here, but more than likely it is not recording, and it is just broken, and it might even be why my frame rate is so terrible today. But here's what we're going to do. So I have done a couple of things in the interim. Obviously I went ahead, I set up most of the GalactiCraft equipment. Frame rate would stabilize. We've got our rocket set up here. So I've got oil coming in through this ender tank. Dear God, this is terrible today. Yeah, so I managed to track down a chunk with some oil in it. As you can see, I got lucky. It's that one right there. Set up a pump jack to pull the oil out, and just ran it off of batteries because I was, and I was planning to have to move it if I didn't get enough oil, but it actually ended up being a fairly good reserve. And as you can see, I've got a black hole tank sitting right there that's got it. It's still relatively full of oil that did not get used. So if we need to, we can... God, it's like moving through molasses. If we need to, we can look around again and find another chunk with some oil in it. I haven't found one near me, so we might have to actually have to go out and explore, but that's why I was using the battery and the ender tanks rather than actually running pipes for things. So over here, we have about 3 frames. Jesus Christ. Yeah, so we have our fuel loader loading fuel up, and we have our refinery. It's taking the oil out of the ender tank, and yeah, and then fueling up our Mark 1 rocket, which we've got right here, tier 1, whatever. So we can see if we hop in, we can check to see that our inventory is full. I did put storage on this rocket. I don't know that we're going to actually need to use it. But, yeah, if we do, it's there. I have also gone ahead and gotten myself geared up. So I've got the thermal padding, which I don't think we need for the moon, but I made it and put it on anyway. Frequency module, so we can talk to the villagers on the moon. Oxygen mask, obviously. Oxygen gear. Then I went ahead and just made the heavy oxygen tank. Filled it all up. I put a parachute on, even though I don't need it, because I don't take fall damage. Thanks to the baubles that we have, but I did put it on just so that the game won't complain at me about not having a parachute when we go to launch. You can see the little frequency module right there. This is another thing too that I actually like, is that if I take off my armor here, you can actually see the different elements. You can actually see the different elements. So here, if I there you go. You can see the oxygen tank. You can see the communication module. It's kind of cool. I don't know why the thermal suit is doing that, because it should actually cover the chest. But for some reason on my character, it does not want to. So might be a layering issue. There is one last thing. Now it seems like we're all ready to go, but there is one. Well, there's like 6 more things, because that's all the frames that I have. Jesus, is running like terror. It's got to be replay mod being broken is what's causing it to act like this. So anyway, in the remote location where we're gonna go to the moon, I have prepared a box. As you can see, this is my space box. And I've got basically what I'm going to need to get started. Obviously, this isn't everything that we're going to need, but it is enough to get me started. So we've got a waystone so we can get back to the overworld and then back up to the moon without having to use the rocket over and over. That's why I'm not super worried about how much oil and fuel that I have. I have an oxygen sealer so we can build ourselves a little room, seal it up with oxygen, and then we don't have to worry about running off of our air tanks. I've got an ender tank set up with the oxygen compressor. So this is full of oxygen, which is a gas, but it counts as a forged fluid, so it works in the ender tanks. Got some ME cabling going on, and I'll show you why here in just a second. Fluid pipes to move the oxygen around. A wrench so that we can make sure that everything is working in the right way. Crafting terminal, very important to have. Oxygen compressor so I can fill the air tanks back up. Wireless access point. A lever for the batteries so that we can power everything up. And you can see I've got this one nice and upgraded with 85 million RF in it. Some flux duct so we can power everything. And then some more components to an ME system. And the reason why I'm bringing these bits and pieces of an ME system is because of this guy right here. So the quantum link chamber and the quantum ring is a really cool part of applied energistics, and it actually allows you to send your ME system across dimensions. And you need to have 2 of them. All right. So you need to have 2 of these quantum rings set up, and as you can see, I've got one set up over here, and I've got a ME cable running into it already, so it'll have a full 8 channels available to it. You can connect a dense cable to one of these rings and then get the full 32 on the other side, but I don't think we're going to need 32 different devices. But as you can see, I've got it set up. I've got a sign here so that I can identify where it is that this is linking to, since I intend to build multiples of these. But yeah, this is what you got to build, and we got to build one on the other end as well. And then right here in the middle, this is where the magic happens. We need to put something right in here. And what we need to put is a quantum entangled singularity. And the way that we make these, we take a singularity, which you've seen me, I've got a bunch of them, an ender dust, and then we explode it. So that ought to be fun. So let's go grab the ender dust and a singularity and some TNT. I can't, this is ridiculous. I'll be right back. I'm going to disable replay mod because it's still broken anyway, so I'll be right back. All right, so maybe this will be better. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to make use of the wither box so we don't end up with bunch of holes everywhere, or we can just do this. Yeah, that didn't work. Should have worked. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to make use of the wither box. TNT. We toss those 2 down. Nobody cares what you think. Light it. Back away. Get rid of you. And there's our quantum entangled singularities. Now these two are very important to keep track of because they do pair with each other. There is some NBT data on them, so in theory, if you mix them up, you should be able to figure out which one's which again, but I'm going to do it the easy way and just go over here and name them with the anvil. So grab a level, and we're just going to go ahead and name these Moon. Make it nice and easy. Alright, so one of them needs to go into my space box, and the other one needs to go downstairs into the ring that I have set up down there. So this will just go right in here. Boop. And then we're going to change this from no link to Moonbase. I love this mod. Lets you edit signs by just right-clicking on them. It's so nice. You don't have to break the sign, replace it, you just click on it. There you go. That should be everything. Oh, the oxygen system I have is set up over here. As you can see, I've got a collector right here that's collecting the precious O2 fluid pipe that is piping it into both the oxygen compressor that I use to fill up my air tanks, as well as a black hole tank. That's just, you know, as you can see, it's just sitting here collecting oxygen. And then for the black hole tank, there's another pipe that takes it up into the under tank. So we have a nice good supply of oxygen. And if we start chewing through that pretty quickly, which we shouldn't, but if we do, I can always put some more oxygen collectors down. And yeah, we can collect them. We can collect here in the overworld instead of having to do crazy stuff in space. Which, you know, the crazy stuff in space is fun, but I like doing things the easy way instead of the hard way. All right, so let me make sure. I've got my shulker. I've got some food. Need to go grab my sword and my box of rockets. Box of rockets. Oh. You guys are probably wondering what this is. Because I've just kind of been ignoring it. This... I got bored, basically. It's a vending machine. It's adorable, but it's a vending machine. So basically what you do, you go over here, you see there's a sign here, tells you what you do. 1 coin, 1 pie. Okay, so we go up here, open up the barrel, we take one of these coins, put it in the barrel, and we get a pie. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. If you're curious how it works, I will show you. Go in through this little trap door right here. In essence, all it is a single slice of an item sorter. You can see I've got set up right here, and I've got it filled up so that one item goes all the way through it. If you're building this as an actual item sorter, don't do this because it'll cause problems. But since this is only a single slice, there's nothing to there's no issues for it to happen. But anyway, when one more item gets added to that hopper, it lights up this line. Activates that, which inverts this torch, depowering this hopper, allowing items to flow through it, which ends up down here in this chest. Also depowers this line, and this is where I've added to it, which causes that torch to power, which causes this dropper right here to fire. As you can see, it is full of strawberry pie. And that is directly underneath where you stand. So when you're standing on top of it, you put the coin in, the pie shoots up at your feet. Like I said, I got bored, and then you know, I built that, and then I built the fox around it because, yeah, it's adorable, and I don't know, I think it's so funny. All right, anyway, we're gonna go to the moon. We are going to go to the moon. But yeah, so that's what that is. It's just me being random. If you're wondering about my energy storage over here, it is still tier 7, and it is also full. I've got Awakened Draconium generating, but I do not have nearly enough to go to the tier 8, so that's going to take a while yet. But anyway, we're going to go to the moon. Here we go. Let's go. I wish I could get the additional planets for Galacticraft to work, but I don't know. They don't want to work. 3, 2, 1. Lift off. All right, so anyway, overworld, moon. Here we go. And now we're on the moon. Neat. I do love the footprints. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's the Earth. Or the overworld, whatever you want to call it. So, what we need to do now is we're going to go... Boing. Boing. That's fun. So anyway, we're going to go over here a little bit. Just kind of... I don't know. There's no real reason to go anywhere anyway. But we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves some equipment. First thing we want to do is drop down our waystone. Name it Moon. Oh, not Mon. Moon. There we go. Now we can get back home. Nice and easy. Then the next thing we're going to need to do is set up our quantum ring. I forgot about the low gravity. And that. All right. Gonna need these two. Gonna need that. Singularity goes in. Now. Okay, so we gotta put the energy acceptor down. Then we can put the battery down. There we go. All right, and then once it activates, which it is, should now be activated. Yep. So we're now it's now being powered from the other side. So we can take these down. Yeah, battery. So it should remain powered. Yep. And now that it is powered, we can take our cable. And we'll give that a second to find a channel. All right, device online. I have now access to my ME system from the moon. And once this comes online, then I'll be able to use my wireless terminal without burning through infinity energy. There it goes. Now it's online. Now if I look at my terminal, infinite range is inactive. And of course we can pop that in there. It's going to burn through. It's going to use a lot more energy, but I have so much energy, it makes no difference. These rings take quite a bit of energy to keep active as well. But again, like I have so much, it's not an issue. All right, now the next thing we want to do is we need to get our oxygen system set up. And the way that we're going to do this, because we need to power everything. So once this thing, we'll switch that over to energy, and then we take our memory card and we bonk it. This is now connected as an energy output to the peer-to-peer tunnel that is set up near my fusion reactor that is set up as an energy input. Meteorite just landed. Let's go check it out. Yeah, my pickaxe is silk touch, so that's not going to work too well. Whee! We got some raw meteoric iron, which is used for a few things. But we're not going to worry about that now. Are you finally online? Okay, you are finally online and linked. So now we can connect power. Okay, don't break the ring. Breaking the ring doesn't help. Okay, we'll disable that for now because it's not going to be able to seal anything anyway because we don't have a an actual room here. But the next thing that we need to do is we need to actually build ourselves a room. And this is the part that I was having a lot of trouble with when I was I was thinking about this and I was trying to figure out, you know, what are we going to do? How am I going to do this room? What am I going to, you know, what kind of a design can I use for this that'll make it look nice and not just be a mess? I couldn't figure anything out. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some blocks and we're just going to wing it. And I'll bring you guys back in once I've got it built. Also, as a note, the oxygen sealer right here This can store up to, or this can seal up to a 10 by 10 by 8 area when I enable it. That's the biggest area that it can actually seal. So if I make a room that's any bigger than that, I have to use multiple sealers to get it to seal all the way. So we are going to pretty much just go for that, just like a 10 by 10 area. Probably not 10 by 10 by 8, but a 10 by 10 area, and we'll just go from there. So yeah, like I said, I'll bring you guys back in once I've got at least some progress done on it. I'm gonna have to break for, but anyway, this is why I have the oxygen compressor up here, as I can just take off one of the tanks and, you know, basically switch to the other one and fill the tank up. So like I said, bring you guys back in once I've got some work done on this. See you in a little bit. Alrighty guys, I've gone and built myself a little house on the moon. I decided to basically go with the same design as the main house that I built, you know, back in the overworld. Back there. Somewhere there is a house that is very similar to this, only it's a lot bigger. Obviously, I went with a much smaller overall design because it doesn't need to be, you know, super huge. And I kind of like having this, you know, like super modern, high-tech, you know, airlock stuck to the side of it. And then I got a little cobblestone path that comes out and kind of peters out. I might extend that out a little bit further later on. But button, we can go in. These do have a proximity controller, but I don't know, it doesn't work super well. So I just use the button. The button works fine. And then yeah, inside here we now have a pressurized environment. I originally built this a little bit smaller, where it actually should have been big enough for one sealer to seal it, and it didn't want to work. So I just went ahead and built a second sealer and plopped it down. And you can see with my oxygen detector here, we have a atmosphere, so I can actually go in here and I can take off my oxygen tanks, and I don't suffocate, which is good because then I can put them in here and fill them back up. Yeah, so that's basically my little you know, home away from home that I've got going on here. I've got my my boxes over here. I did put an energy cell down on this side because I kept having the ring lose power and having to go and repower it and everything, so it was a pain. So I just plunked the energy cell down. So hopefully, I haven't actually left the area since I put this on here. But hopefully, if I do and it loses power again, hopefully enough power will stay in this cell that the ring will be able to reactivate. And then once it reactivates, it'll get recharged from the fusion reactor on the other side. So, yeah. And then, of course, you know, got to have a megatorch, keep all the mobs away. And I've been just collecting the meteoric iron as well, kind of as I've been around. There's a bunch of it that's already been smelted on the other side, since you need the meteoric iron to make the airlock controller. So, but yeah, so the next thing that we're going to need to do, there's a Enderman over there. There's a couple of them. But the next thing we're going to need to do is we're going to need to head out into the moon and explore and see if we can't find ourselves a Lunar Dungeon. And if you don't know, the Lunar Dungeon, it's a little short trek, and at the end of it, there's a boss. I believe the lunar one is a creeper. I don't remember 100%. But there's a boss, and you fight the boss, and you get a key, and then you use the key to open a chest, and in the chest is hopefully the level 2 schematic for the level 2 rocket that we use to go to other places in our little galaxy here, or our little solar system here, because like if we look here, Mars requires tier 2, Venus requires tier 3, Asteroids require tier 3. So we can't get to these other locations unless we have that tier of rocket. And of course, these are question mark because they're not available. So that's what we need to do, is we need to find that tier 2 here on the moon. And once we do, spider over there. Once we find that tier 2, then we can keep going. We can keep exploring more and more of the solar system. And probably, build more of these little houses as well. But that, I think, is going to go ahead and wrap things up for this episode. We did make some nice progress, and I'm quite happy with where we are now. I'm going to go ahead and do some exploring here on the moon's surface in between episodes. I won't actually do the dungeon. I'll record it, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I don't die. But I shouldn't. I got some pretty good armor. Anyway, yeah. We're going to call things here for this episode. Thank you guys for joining with me on our expedition into space. I would have given you a time lapse of building this house, but A, it would have been super short because it's really small, and B, replay mod isn't working. So, yeah, is what it is. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. Hit the subscribe so you don't miss any more episodes of SnowCraft coming your way very soon. Comment, let me know what you like, let me know what you don't like. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to improve, or if there's anything that you don't want to see changed as well. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the next episode. Have yourselves a wonderful day, wonderful evening, whatever time of day it happens to be for you. I hope it's a good one for you. I will see you in the next episode. And until then, happy Minecrafting.